Good evening from Southeast Asia. This will be episode or live stream or audio cast or vodcast or some stupid thing. I thought this was going to be fun, this whole thesaurus thing, but it sucks. Oops. Podcast number 263 of the new versions of the alienanalprobe.com podcasts. There's got to be something more creative than podcasts. Holy crap. All right. That's what they are. Take it or leave it. Suck it up. Grow some. All tapes are copyright 2023 by stockphotosworldwide.com. You can go there to get here, or you can go to alienanalprobe.com, or you can go to theyclaim.com, or you can go to killerclownsfromspace.com, or what else? Vibratingcactus.com, and I don't know, whole list. Alien Anal Probe, there's a whole list. For those who haven't been around a while, we have stopped updating the RSS feeds. We don't like them. It's a weird phenomenon. The RSS feeds were really hot in about 2004, 2008, somewhere around in there. And the people just loved them, and the traffic on them skyrocketed, and then it peaked in around 2008, 2009, something. And then it began to just drop, just became a ski slope. And that's the way it stayed until now. Not until now, but including now. It just dropped. I think a number of reasons people didn't like them, but the fact is that they have just nosedived all around the world for everybody. There are a few, special little podcasts that are doing okay. I think just so many better things came along that people just found better ways to listen to stuff. And most of the podcasts did not offer video, just audio. They pestered you to death, with sign-up requests and, oh, hell. So anyway, we stopped updating those. So there's a half a dozen episodes now that are only on our website at alienanalprobe.com or wherever. And we didn't update them to the RSS feeds. A weird ass thing happened. However, almost instantly when we started doing that, our listeners went up. Subscribers went up. What the hell? And listeners, so I don't know what we're going to do now. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. We wanted to be rid of it, gone, into the corn, but I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to wait and see what happens. Okay, we got to do a weird thing here. I need a spanking. You got to be careful if you say that in Southeast Asia, because the girls will just say, okay, I can do that. God. Okay. On the last tape, 262, we covered a couple of stories from Sumner, Washington. They weren't particularly great stories, but they were great to me personally because I was there some years after these things happened, and I saw stuff. I saw stuff that was real stuff. I saw lights in the sky. Yes, I didn't get probed. I didn't shake hands or hand to claw or anything like that with any alien, anything. I didn't see aliens. I didn't see nothing. I just saw lights in the sky. But the lights that were in the sky, I mean, I knew it at the time, and I've known it all these 50 whatever years since. They weren't from Earth. Couldn't have been. No possible way they could have been. There's no possible way. We don't have anything even remotely capable now of what those things were doing back in the 50s, late 50s, 60 maybe. And also there are thousands of reports. Oh God, probably tens, 50s of thousands of reports of lights doing exactly the same thing as the lights that we saw for night after night after night. And in many of those cases, they didn't just see lights. They saw other nasty, creepy things. I consider us to be very fortunate that we did not see nasty, creepy other things. I didn't want to see them. I really, really didn't. I looked away most of the time because I didn't want to see what kind of shit was coming down. Okay, so those two reports, I gave a lot of credibility. I gave a huge amount of credibility. I gave like 100 grains of sand, and everybody knows I usually give out 1 grain or half a grain or 3 grains or something like that. I gave each of these stories, as I recall, I don't know, I'll go back to listen to the 262, as I recall, I gave each one of them 100 grains of sand. It's freaking huge. It's really out of character for me. Okay. There were 2 reports of Sumner, Washington, in that series that we did last tape. The first one deserved the 100 grains of sand. We're going to amend the second one. And here it is. I'm just going to go through it again, just like I did last night. And I gave this one 100 grains of sand, I'm pretty sure. Also, I'm pretty sure I gave it the same amount as the first one. Okay, Sumner, Washington, time, midnight. 2 witnesses were out driving when they saw a white light drop out of the sky and go into some bushes by the roadway. Okay, when I read this, I was getting really excited because in my experience there when I was a kid, this is what the big creepy light saucer alien things, whatever the hell they were, that's what some of them did. And people were freaked. Women crying and men loading their guns. I mean, literally, that's what was going on. And so, when I read this line, I thought, oh my God, same creepazoids that we saw. Had to be. And so I just was into it. From that moment on, I was into it. I was biased. Okay, continuing. After the light entered the bushes, it turned green and began blinking. The driver turned the car lights off and saw a solid red ball of light drop to the ground 20 feet from the car. And I thought, oh my God. None of the adults that were that I was with that night back in the 50s reported anything like that, although maybe they just didn't tell us, we little stupid kids. I'm not sure. I think we were all scared. I was more scared than anybody else. I was the skinniest little run of the bunch, and so, the aliens are going to eat me first. I probably wouldn't even bother with the probing, Just, oh, hell, he's too skinny. Just eat him, Boil him. It only takes 3 minutes. All right. So I'm thinking, when I read this last episode, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like the extrapolation. This is like the continuation of the stuff that I saw. I thought, oh shit, and I really got worked up into a sweaty horse lather. The witnesses then turned the car lights on again and saw a man standing where the red light had hit the pavement. The man stood directly in front of the car and was described as 6 foot tall, wearing a tight-fitting white shirt with some sort of vest. When the witness turned the car on again, the figure suddenly vanished. Okay, that's the report. And I thought, oh, son of a bitch. These were two reports out of Sumner. Starting out seeing the same things that we all saw, and then continuing on to see creepazoids and, oh my God, coming down on the trees and shit like that. I thought, oh, son of a bitch, and I just ran with it, and I gave it 100 grains of sand. Okay. Now, stupid is as stupid does. This is why I'm doing all this as a classic example of why you have to be clearly even more careful than me. I'm careful. I'm really, really stinking careful most of the time. But I weren't careful enough on this one. I muffed it. I screwed the pooch. Okay? There. And then here, you want to punish me? I mean, girls do it all the time. Oh, you bad, stupid monkey bastard. piece of shit. You were wrong. You were wrong, bastard, idiot. Okay, that's enough of that shit. I'm chagrined enough. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you why I was wrong about this report. It's so freaking obvious. Okay, last night when I read this, I went through, location, Sumner, Washington, time, midnight, date, yada, yada. 2 witnesses were out driving. Okay, I just rolled on through it, like a drunk going through a red light. Alrighty, and then I got to thinking about it. Something nagged at my tiny little reptilian brain. Tiny as it is, 6 sizes too small, like the Grinch's heart. Okay? All right, that's all the bashing I'm going to fucking tolerate. Okay, that's enough. I went back. Okay. After I do every one of these, I delete that report out of the working database. Okay, so it was gone. I had to go open up the master database and find this turkey thing again so I could take another look at it and be sure of how wrong I was. Okay, so I read it a little while ago. And here's why I was wrong. Look at the date. It's at the bottom of the little text screen, if you can read it. If you're on a phone, maybe you can't. But the date is July 3rd, 1954. Ring a bell? Now, when I was a kid, not 1954, but 1960, whatever, 4th of July was a stinking big deal. I don't know how many kids got their hands blown off and eyes poked out by rockets and shit like that. It was fucking glorious. It was, oh my God, it was fun. 4th of July was a big, big deal. There's any kind of rocket you could have launched a cat to the fucking moon on a rocket you could buy for 80 cents, I mean, almost literally you could. It was wild. It was mayhem. It was chaos. It was Armageddon come to earth, 4th of July was wild. And it started about a week before and went for about a week after. Now, let's go through this stupid report again. Knowing that it's the day before 4th of July. It's midnight the day before 4th of July, to be exact. 2 witnesses out driving and see a white light drop out of the sky. Yeah, it's a fucking rocket, okay? Goes into some bushes. Okay. It turned green and began blinking. Okay, that's a fucking rocket. It's a fireworks, okay? The driver turned the car, the headlights off, saw a red ball. Okay, okay. All right, got it. And the red ball drops to the ground 20 feet from the car. Okay, the witness turned the car off and lights on again. And then he saw a man standing there. Well, that's a guy who's lighting the fucking fireworks, you dumb son of a bitch. Okay, I'm not even going through the rest of it. It's just too damn stupid to repeat. If it didn't hurt so much, I'd do that again because I freaking deserve it. Oh, God, it really hurts. It really hurts. I mean, I don't fake shit, I don't. Stupid. Oh, God, I want to do it. If it was somebody else, I'd fucking do it, Okay. So there you go, people. It's just 4th of July fireworks. No flying saucers. They weren't. No, fucking hell. Okay. Now, every episode we got to try to go through 1 or 2, sometimes 3 if we're just gluttons of the old ones, and they're fucking crap. We just like to say, but we got to clear them out of the database. So I have, we had stuff. We had 9,400 cases. We cleared out all of the old ones up to 1850. That's where we're at now, and we're just, they start to make a little more sense after about 1900. But we got a ways to go, sadly. So we're whacking out 1 or 2, the minis we can choke down, throwing them up. So there's Lacar Lake, something, Argentina, 1850, time unknown, whatever. A mermaid-like creature, apparently half amphibian and half human, was reportedly seen in the area. Oh, lovely. Okay, whatever. I don't do mermaids. I don't do Bigfoots. I don't do spring-heeled Jack. I don't do Mothman. I don't do gnomes. I don't do fairies. I don't do trolls. Fuck. Okay, the mermaid was reported to be able to levitate over the water. Oh, that's out. How big was it? 4 inches? It's called a dragonfly. No, I don't know what the hell. And supposedly lived in an underwater city. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. I was there. You used to be able to buy tours to that city, but they discontinued that. I don't know why. Okay. All right. Can we stomach? Oh God, it's long. No, I can't stomach another long. I can't take a long one from 1850. No, I cannot. No, I can do. Where's a short one? There. Okay, here. God, I can do this one maybe. Okay, location Central Russia, European part. Oh God, exact location they don't even know. Circa 1855. Well, okay, we're moving up in the world. 1855. Really? 1850? Yeah. Okay. Time is unknown because we don't freaking care anyway. The famous Russian writer Ivan Sergeyevich. Who knows? Oh, there's more. Turgenev. I don't know, and I don't care. And it says when he's born, when he died, and we absolutely do not care. Unless he was dead when he made the report. Was once swimming in a, I think they mean quiet, forest lake in a remote area of central Russia. Oh, Jesus, he must have been a polar bear. God. When he felt someone's hand touching his shoulder. Oh, God. He turned around and saw a horrible female humanoid creature, similar to a monkey. I'm really pretty sure they don't have monkeys in that area. Russians eat every living thing, so if maybe they had one time, they're gone now. He had a huge grimacing face covered in long red hair. That sounds like a monkey. Turgenev was seized by panic and horror and rushed to the shore, but the monster chased him. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, I would do that too. I did that once, actually. I did that. Rushed to the shore. If this creepy monkey thing wanted to do something bad to this guy, it would have done it. It wouldn't have tapped him on the shoulder. It just would have throttled him like Gollum, But still, I mean, you're not going to reason through that when something like this taps you on the shoulder. You're going to flee like I did. Okay, I'll tell that story in a minute. Some people like my stories, God damn it. Some don't. How many do? I'm thinking 99.999999%. Okay, suck it up. Okay, he's seized by panic and horror and rushed to the shore, but the monster chased him. I just wanted a little boinking. I think that's all it was. And I ain't seeing no flying saucer anyway. Luckily, there was another witness near the shore, a young boy, a shepherd, who came running, reacting to, screams. Using a lash or whip, the boy kept the monster away from Turgenev until he reached safety. So I got two witnesses, but there are no flying saucers. Who knows? I mean, it could have been somebody's pet monkey that escaped, and who knows? Okay, so here's my stupid story. I'm not going to tell the whole story. I'll summarize it really, really quickly. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, or 3. I had to take a teeny tiny 6-foot skiff from a really rocky shoreline up in northern Canada, and I had to row it out to where my big boat was anchored quite a ways offshore because it was reefs and rocky and shit. So it was like, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile offshore. And this little skiff thing had no flotation. I had no life jacket. It was just a shell, 6 feet, that's 2 meters. I mean, that's a teensy tiny little shell of a boat. It's a piece of shit boat. Didn't even have oarlocks, didn't have nothing, just had one paddle, okay? I could scull it really, really well, but from the bow, not from the stern, where you hold a paddle over the bow, single paddle, and you tread it back and forth, changing the pitch of the paddle on each swipe. And you can make really good progress like that. So anyway, I'm paddling out there. Colder than hell. Snow and Northern Lights and creepy, and and I got to within about 50 feet, probably, I don't know, of my boat. My boat's all dark and cold, just bobbing around on the anchor line, waiting for me to get there. And all of a sudden, probably 18 inches from the side of my little skiff, there's this gigantic roar. And I'm sprayed with hot water. It smells nasty. And I was horrified, and whatever this other guy was, horrified in something, horrified beyond. God, I just go back to that moment instantly. After, I don't know, just a few seconds, 5 seconds, I realized it was a killer whale. And I had watched them the summer before. I had watched them all summer. I was commercial fishing up by the Alaska border. And the killer whales would come in and chase the seals in toward the beach. And the seals were a little bit afraid of the beach because there was some ocean swells and the beach was rocky. So the seals would slow down, and that's when the killer whales would get them. And they would just like chomp onto the whole lower half of these giant seals or sea lions, either one. And then they would raise them up out of the water and shake them back and forth like a dog would shake a rag. And they would shake them in half. The top half would go flying, guts trailing, blood spewing. And the killer whale would swallow the bottom half and then go over and get the top half and eat that. And I had watched them kill and eat hundreds of seals all summer, just like that. And I was just mesmerized by the power. Oh God, it was breathtaking. It was just, you could sit on the rocks, 50 feet from where this was happening, and my kingdom for a camera, I know exactly where it happened. I could take you back. And so once I realized this was a killer whale, 18 inches with a blowhole, 18 inches from my boat, the body of the killer whale had to have been, part of it had to have been under my teeny tiny skiff, under it. It was pretty dark. I could barely make out the dark shapes. Once in a while, they would raise a head up and kind of look at me. You could see the white. You could see the dorsal fins. And then I realized there was a whole pod of them. And I'm not sure how many. I'm thinking 6 or 7, probably. And they swirled around my tiny boat like they were fixing to just eat me in the boat. Just a couple of gulps. And I was so scared. I was petrified beyond comprehension. And I took my little paddle thing and I'm banging it on the bottom of this little fiberglass boat to try to let them know that I'm not a seal. A seal cannot make a noise like that. And I thought maybe they put 2 and 2 together. I don't know. And I'm screaming, I'm not a seal. I'm not a seal. and they hung around there for several minutes, probably 3 or 4 minutes. And I was afraid to put the paddle in the water because I didn't want to hit one. I didn't want to piss it off. And I'm 50 feet, 60 feet from my boat, and I can't get closer to my boat. And I thought, what the hell? This is where I die. I was 20, something like that. I don't know. All dressed in heavy winter clothing, huge rubber commercial fishing boots. I would have gone straight to the bottom. And finally, they opened up a kind of a little area, and they got more between me and my boat. And I saw an opening towards the shore. So it's 3/4 of a mile to the shore. And then there's surf on the rocks at the shore. And I thought, okay, that's it. That's my chance. That's the only chance I've got to live. And I got to sculling. And I swear to God, I planed. I planed that hull. I swear I did. And God knows what would have happened if the paddle would have broke or I would have dropped it or whatever. Jeez, God, I would have died of fright. It wouldn't have had to eat me. I could have pulled a water skier. And I made it to the beach, and I surfed down the face of a wave and crashed onto the rocks and dragged the boat up and climbed up the rocks to a point about 50 feet above the water and just sat there. And I could see them out there. They had followed me in a little ways, but not all the way. And I could see the breath coming out of them, the steamy, misty breath coming out of them when they blew. And I could just see dark shadows of dorsal fins. And they just swirled around, like, hey man, where'd you go? We want to play for a while. Come on. So when I read this in this report, that took me back to that moment. He sees the monkey thing, and I bet he sculled just as fast as I did. The interesting point about my story was that at no time did any whale bump or even touch my boat. Now, at times, the dorsal fins were a foot, 12 inches from the side of my teeny tiny little craft, 12 inches. So they were exactly under my boat. I mean, the bottom of my boat, from the bottom of my boat to the top of their bodies next to their dorsal fin couldn't have been 5 inches. It could not have been more than 5 inches all around me on both sides, fore and aft. How could they possibly be so careful and aware of their spatial positioning? How could they possibly do that for some number of minutes and not even touch my boat? I don't know. It's beyond anything I can explain, but that's what happened. I was scared that if they even bumped me at all, it would capsize that teeny tiny little boat. It was like a teacup, It was such a piece of crap. Anyway, that's my story. Okay, take it or leave it. All right. Okay, credibility. For this story, maybe I didn't explain that. When we have a story that's purely bullshit, we just delete it. It's gone. If it might have some credibility, we assign some amount of credibility to it, and we do that by taking a little pinch of sand, we drop it in a big bucket, and if the bucket's ever full of sand, then we say, okay, it's inescapable. Aliens exist. Okay. Usually we do a grain or 2 or 5 or 10 or sometimes a gram or something like that of sand. As of this episode 263, our bucket is 90% full after all these years. 1,400 reports we've gone through out of the 9,400. Okay. So this one, there's no flying saucers. The little creepy thing doesn't even look like an alien. He didn't get probed. So they get nothing. Okay. Okay, here's a short one. It's 57. Let's get it going. Off the coast of Britain, June 4th, 1957, time unknown, a Scottish seaman reported spotting a creature. Oh, God, here we go again. A Scottish seaman reported spotting a creature in the shape of a woman with full boobies, dark complexion, and comely face. What are you going to do with that? No, I mean, really, literally. What are you going to do? What the fuck? You're out there, you're fishing, okay? Catching fish. Got a boat full of fish. Beautiful mermaid comes up. And, hey, baby. Been a while since I had a human. Do you want a boink? No, she wouldn't really say that. She would say, she would say more like that. But he could translate it, right? Because it's Scottish, and Scottish grew up with this goddamn shit. So, I mean, that's my people. I know what they know. But let's say let's say she barked that out. And he said, okay, deal. Okay, take it to the next step. What are you going to do? Extrapolate it. What are you going to do? I mean, from the waist down, they're goddamn fish, you know? I don't think they got nothing down there. I don't think they got nothing down there, okay? I never heard of all the stupid mermaid reports I've read, I have not read a single one where it said they saw anything down there. How are you going to see it anyway? Even if they have it, how are you going to fucking see it? You can't see it. It's just a fish tail, for Christ's sake. But, you know, okay, let's presume just for a minute that they do have one. I don't know, you get in the water, freezing cold water, it's fucking 33 degrees Fahrenheit, you know? You get in there. Oh, beautiful boobies. Oh, God. And she likes to kiss. Oh, God, she loves to kiss. And the barking thing is kind of a turn on, you know, that's kind of a hot thing. And so you're playing with those boobies, playing. Oh, God, she loves it. Oh, God, she's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Then what? Then what the fuck? Really? Ain't nothing you can do unless you're another goddamn fish. And even then, I don't know what they do. I don't know what fish do. I don't want to know. Okay, so now this whole mermaid thing, I don't study them at all. There were some reports out of, where the hell was it? North Sea? Somewhere up there. There were some reports that came out of there that were so convincing, and there were so many witnesses that whatever country that was, Switzerland, Sweden or Norway, they sent out the Navy. They mounted a full-scale expedition to go find this thing because people had been seeing it. And the Navy said, okay, once and for all, let's go see them because we want to know if they got anything down there, you know, in the name of science, you know. Anyway, so they sent the Navy out there. I don't know what the hell, some kind of goddamn frigate or some fucking thing. It's 5,000 people on it, you know, binoculars and cameras and shit. I don't know what all they had. And they went out there and they cruised around for a long time, you know, like 10 months or something like that. No, it wasn't 10 months. It was 3 weeks or something like that. And of course they didn't find one. But anyway, the point is, there are so many reports and sometimes of such good quality that an entire Navy task force can be convinced, an entire government, really. I'm still not doing mermaids. I'm too busy with aliens, but I don't know what to think about them. I don't know. I just have no clue. Oh shit, we got monsoon going. Oh hell, we got really big monsoon going. I don't know if that's coming. Oh, holy shit, we're gonna die. Probably gonna implode any second. Fuck. Yeah, I see the. Oh god, the water's squirting in already. Son of a bitch! I knew this would happen. Okay. There's no aliens here anyway. It doesn't matter. And I can't do any more 1800s crap. Let's go fishing somewhere else. Okay. 1989. I don't like 1989 either because too many people have watched too many sci-fi movies. All right. Something France. I'm not going to attempt them anymore. If they look stupid, I'm not going to try them. Some of these names are just, 11 consonants put together, and you're supposed to mouth some kind of fucking sound and make it sound like a word, and you can't, Okay, summer 1989, near midnight, on a hot, humid night. 3 witnesses were sitting and talking in a parking lot on Rue de Carrier, maybe, just across from one of the men's home. Yeah, you know what they're doing. Come on, just say it out loud, for Christ's sake. You know what they're doing. If they got a home right across the street, Okay. As they talked, they became distracted by strange noise coming from behind them. It's the camcorder, the tape's getting messed up. Stop it. It's going to get fucked up. You got to stop it, start it again. One of the men turned around to see an individual coming up the street about 80 meters away. That's a long way away. I mean, that's pretty close to a football field away. To be hearing it. And you're inside the car, boinking, boinking, boinking. Windows are all steamed over. But still, they can hear somebody coming a football field away. See, we look for bullshit. We go line by line. We look for bullshit. That's what we're doing. The witnesses realized that the sound they were hearing was coming from... Oh, holy shit. Oh, well then. Okay. See, the right eye skims ahead. It saw shit coming up here. Bring the kids in. Get them. If the kids are in bed, bring them in their jammies. Because this is a really good part. The witnesses realized that the sound they were hearing was coming from his breathing from a football field away. And they're inside the car. And they could hear it over their own moaning. Okay, send the kids back. Put them back to bed. As the individual came closer, the sound became more audible, and they began to scrutinize the stranger's appearance. The distance was only about 10 to 15 meters now. The figure was about 2 feet tall. What the hell? It's 2 feet tall, and they can hear it breathing from a football field away. The figure was about 2 feet tall or more, all dark blue in color. He wore large boots and matching gloves of a darker color. Well, if they're of a darker color, they don't really match then, do they? Which was attached to his suit. Okay, a dark diver's helmet that also covered his face, covered his head. Okay, and his complexion appeared to be black and smooth. Black Bart. It's Black Bart. His breathing was regular, identical in intensity, and loud, perfectly synchronized every 4 or 5 seconds. Is that slow? Let's see. No, it's about normal human. The figure took quick steps in an erect... The figure took quick steps in an erect position with arms and legs. What? With arms and legs movements fast-paced, more than normal. Oh, we just had another motorcycle crash out there. I don't know if that came through. Somebody cracked up really good. Heard it wind up and then quiet. That's really common down there. I don't care. I rode Hayabusas for forever. Never crashed. You don't have to crash. You don't have to crash. But these guys, they crash a lot, all the time. And I stopped caring. Okay. I don't even look out the window anymore. Okay. With arms and legs, movements fast-paced, more than normal, and very strict and synchronized. Sounds like a robot, except they don't breathe. As he walked by the witnesses, these attempted to attract his attention by making sounds and whistling. Why in God's name do you want it to know you're there? Oh, son of a bitch. And you're all naked anyway. Hard to fight when you're naked. I know, I had to once. I didn't like it. But the figure never reacted to it and ignored them. He continued his fast pace until he was lost from sight inside a darkened street. Well, I have no freaking idea what this thing could be. There's no flying saucer. The only story I've got to go along with this was that really short. I was moving cross country, had a big U-Haul truck, and had my young son, and we stopped in the middle of the forest up by Shasta Mountain. And of course, we knew there was gargoyles and aliens and shit there anyway. But we had to sleep. We could, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. We couldn't drive anymore. So my son, I told him, okay, go up in the cab, make a little bed. Here's some blankets, lock the doors, sleep as well as you can. And I was going to sleep in the back of the truck. because there was only room for one back there, barely even me. And so I said, if you have any problem, if you hear anybody coming or something like that, just honk the horn. I'll get there as quick as I could. And I had a Glock and it was laying next to me, and, we'll deal with it. And so we got all settled down, and I turned off the light and closed down the back sliding door. And I swear to God, it wasn't 5 seconds. Hank, 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 just frantic honking. I thought, there can't possibly be anybody there. We were so far out in the woods that, there weren't even deer out there, for God's sake. And so anyway, I jumped up, Glock in hand, barefoot, ran around the front of the truck, and there he was, the dome light on, just terrified. And jerked open the door and looking around with my light, looking for threats and waiting for somebody to jump. And what the hell? And I said, what is going on? Where is it? Is there somebody here? Where are they? And he was just sobbing, and he said, well, as soon as I closed the back of the door, he heard this tremendous, incredibly, deafeningly loud breathing. He said it sounded like it came from in the sky. It was so loud. Just roaring breath. And I said, hell, I heard nothing. I heard nothing. I could have heard a chipmunk taking a leak, and I didn't hear that. But he swore he heard it, and I believe him. He heard something. And this whole notion of a really loud breathing has been reported quite a few times, not necessarily in association with flying saucers, but just reported here and there and everywhere. Maybe there are creepazoids like this responsible for it. Maybe there was one in the forest that night. I don't know. Well, I would have heard it, so it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, okay, so we got no flying saucer here. We just got a 2-foot tall something that's breathing very, very hard. I didn't want to talk to the people blinking in the backseat of the car. Okay, that goes into the corn. Okay, how are we doing for time here? We're just kind of sort of okay. Okay, location, West Dade County, Florida, summer 1989, time various. Oh, well, sometimes that means it's interesting because it means all kinds of crazy crap happened. Renee Ravilla had bought a piece of property very close to the East Everglades. Oh, God. Why do people want to live there? And had encountered different type of phenomena in the area. Yeah, why? The swamp monster lives there, for God's sake, Twice during the course of the summer, a tall stranger who asked him different questions as to his purposes in the area visited him. The strange was described as a Nordic-type man, very strong and tall, with immaculate features, and always wearing a gray suit and tie. In the Everglades? Oh, he's got to be an alien. Okay, well, that explains everything. He seemed to have some type of accent that the witness could not place. Well, okay, we go living around the world, and you get people with mixed accents. Somebody lives 12 years in one country and 12 years in another country, and the accents get mixed. And I've lived in so many countries I can't even count them, and I don't even know what I sound like anymore. I probably just incomprehensible to the vast majority of humans. I don't know. Sound normal to myself, but who knows? I was in Canada for years. I was in Thailand for 10 years. I was in Laos and Vietnam and, God, Hong Kong and Cambodia and everywhere. Romania. Everywhere. Okay. Okay. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's alien accent. The 2 times he arrived at the ranch, the witness did not see the mode of transportation. He was apparently gone by the time the witness went out the door to see him off. Okay. I've up in Canada and Alaska, I used to explore just pretty much all the time, endlessly, never stopped. And I would be out in the middle of mountain ranges where I knew that there was not a human being for 100 miles. Really, I would have staked my life on it. And you're sitting there cooking a little roast bird, or something like that. And some guy just walks up. Hey, how you doing? Want another bird? Like that. Pretty often. There's just people out around everywhere all the time doing crazy goddamn shit, and you'll never figure out what they're doing, but they're just people. I think I saw that in Southwest U.S. out on the Indian reservations more than any other place. Just people out there 24/7, all the time, never ending. Okay, no aliens there. All right. Something area, Kursk region, Russia, summer 1989 times midnight. I don't like Russian ones. I'm glad it's not long. Local resident Victor Antsipov was sitting on a bench outside his home resting and was getting ready to go back inside when he suddenly spotted a luminous sphere slowly descending from the eastern quadrant of the sky. Thank you, a flying something, finally. It appeared to be about 2 meters in diameter. Sounds like one of the surplus weather balloons we used to buy as kids. And it constantly changed colors from pink to raspberry. Well, we used to put teeny tiny little flashlights in them, in the place where you filled them up. You'd put a little flashlight in there pointing up and tape it in there and let them go. Fill them with hot air and let them go, and they'd glow. Okay, it performed several fluctuating motions and descended vertically over the street. Well, yeah, the teensiest little bit of air currents will make them whoosh this way and whoosh that way. Swirl around, up and down in circles, whatever, By this time, several other witnesses had run out to watch the spectacle. According to those present, a tall humanoid figure was clearly visible through the walls of the sphere. Okay, ain't no surplus balloon, probably. The sphere continued to change color and then changed into a bulb-shaped structure. As several of the witnesses decided to approach the object, it flew silently behind a nearby forest, leaving behind a phosphorescent trail. Sounds like a flying saucer to me, UFO. Several days later, another local reported seeing a similar object maneuvering over the region. Okay. The only reason that's in here at all is because there was a supposed humanoid spotted inside of it. If not for that, it would be be in the category of lights in the sky, and I don't do lights in the sky. I try not to do anything unless there's actually something, alive around it or inside of it, or being probed by it or something like that. Okay, I don't know. I can't give it very much. I can give it like 2 grains of sand. Okay. God, Russia. I don't want Russia. I can't do any more Russia. I really don't like it. Okay. Olympic Hot Springs National Forest, Washington. I used to log in that region. We had a helicopter logging operation there. Where the hell's the hot springs? I'm thinking that's out by Port Angeles, but I'm not sure. I never went to them. June 1989 times 0300, 3 o'clock in the morning. While on an overnight outing in the forest, the 24-year-old witness was asleep on open ground. Okay, I don't like it when they're asleep and they say they woke up. Because very, 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 very often they didn't wake up. They just dreamed shit. When suddenly 7 to 12 very bright white lights approached the witness. The witness was under the impression that the bright lights were handheld devices. Okay. And that unseen figures were carrying them. Okay, I like that. I like it when people don't just go instantly to aliens and flying saucers. That helps me a lot. When the lights had reached a distance of 100 feet from the witness, he attempted to wake his sleeping companion, but there was no response. Okay, we know what's going to happen. As the lights got closer, he experienced a mixture of curiosity and fear. He suddenly went to sleep. Oh, they nuked him. They hit him with something. Yeah. They put you to sleep and they probe the living daylights out of you. And then half the time they put your pants back on backwards, not that I would know. I mean, I hear this stuff, He recalled lying on his back on a table. It's the name of this website, alienanalprobe.com. Oh, speaking of which, I have to mention something. There's a guy making the rounds on Twitter saying that he has taken every alien UFO podcast he could find on the planet Earth, and he has converted them all to text, from voice to text. And he has made that database public on his own website. So far, I can't find the website. If he did that, if he took copyrighted material, he's going to have a really big problem. Okay. As the lights got closer, he experienced a mixture of curiosity and fear. He suddenly went to sleep. He recalled lying on his back on a table and of turning his head and seeing himself on a monitor. There was an orange light in the room where the examination took place. Examination. That's the operative word. His next memory was of lying awake next to his companion and seeing the lights move quickly away. Yeah, okay. How many hours did he get probed? We don't know. Probably 6, And even if they remember it, they're not going to talk about it. Okay, anyway. This guy's kind of on my brain. If he has done this, there are legal conditions under which you can use other people's material, as long as you don't call it your own. From what he said he did, he does not even come close to meeting those conditions. So, this stuff happens all the time. We've gone to court quite a few times, more than I can count on 2 hands, and we've won every time. I don't want to go to court again. I hope this guy gets a clue. Okay, Bel Air, Maryland, June 1989, time, morning. While driving her school bus down Allabone Road, Linda Walter claimed she saw a large snake or reptilian-like head moving and towering over a cornfield. Yeah, no other information. Well, Linda, I'd be thinking maybe it's time to find a new gig. Some of us are suited to the job of protecting the precious little children, and some of us aren't. I'd be thinking, yeah, better you drive a truck there, Linda. Something like that. These stories of giant snake things are around. They're around. There's not a huge number of them. There are some that came out of Africa where helicopter pilots have said they were 100 feet in the air and the snakes were so big they were trying to strike at them. I've seen the interviews. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know. Okay. I'm not seeing aliens, though. Okay. I think we're about done. Are we done? No. Okay. Tampa, Florida, June 1989, times afternoon. 18-year-old Michelle Cripps was at the apartment swimming pool and suddenly felt like someone was watching her. Okay. We talked about this quite a few times. That's a real phenomenon. It's real. It can happen. It can happen documentably. I've documented it through photography. She looked down and noticed at the time she was looking at herself asleep in the lounge chair. Okay, that's called a ooby. You died, lady. And you're floating on to somewhere better or worse, we don't know. She then saw what appeared to be a silver-looking ball. There are a lot of reports of people going into these ooby things, out-of-body experience. And they say they don't even know anything happened. They're just floating up floating around, thinking about maybe they want to go somewhere, and they turn or something, and they look down, and there's a body down there, and they're thinking, who the hell is that person? My God, that's an ugly spud of a person. What the hell are they doing? Hey, wait a minute, they're wearing my clothes. What the hell? And then they realize it's them. So this is a pretty commonly reported phenomenon. Okay. She then saw what appeared to be a silver-looking ball. Moments later, this ball turned into a man. Okay. She fell asleep. That's what he had. Blonde hair and a really, really, really stinking big eyes that looked like a tiger's eyes. Real tall and slender. Oh, God, this is a fantasy. This is a great fantasy. Every girl has this fantasy. Probably about every other night. Real tall and slender, and he communicated via telepathy. She recalled going on board a ship. That was his travel trailer. Where she saw many jars on a counter with little babies in them. Oh, God, he's a serial killer. Oh, son of a bitch. Her family and boyfriend have also experienced many weird things around the house. Okay. Where's the aliens? They have seen blue lights that have come out of nowhere and strange shadows on the walls. Sounds like Skinwalker Ranch. Where is this? It's not near there, is it? No, it's Tampa, Florida. The tall blonde humanoid told her that oh God. Okay. Let's wrap this up. The tall blonde humanoid told her that the AIDS virus was man-made and was done in order to control the population. Well, shit. Normally I would just say bullshit, but after I've seen some number of years now of how the whole COVID thing has gone, I'm not so quick to say bullshit. Okay. I still don't see any aliens, so that means I don't care. Okay, let's see. That's longish. No, and there's a mention of a ghost down there. I'm not going to do that. I don't like ghost ones. Okay, here's a short one. Something Vologda region, Russia. Oh, God. June 6, 1989, times afternoon. A group of children playing outside the village observed an approaching luminous sphere in the sky. Weather balloon. The sphere landed on a meadow and rolled next to a nearby river. Oh, hell. The sphere then seemed to split open, and a tall, headless figure with long arms and wearing dark clothing emerged. How the hell could something evolve over millennia on some other planet to be headless? I mean, I'm not seeing that. I don't see nature is pretty logical. Nature tries everything. Okay, nature will throw out every single thing it can possibly think of to see, well, will this stick? Will this stick? Will this work? Will this evolve? And, vast majority of stuff doesn't. It dies off quickly or after some long time. Only the stuff that really works stays. Like sharks. Sharks have reached the end of their evolution. They are, for all intents and purposes, perfect. They aren't evolving anymore. They aren't changing. They aren't going to change. They're done. They are what they are, period. What you see is what you get forever and ever. Because they work, for their environment. They work. They work fine. But something without a head, how is that going to evolve and become the top of the food chain? Okay, just from the standpoint of, let's say you're headless, okay? Maybe you got eyes where the titties would normally be, something like that, And you're in the forest, and there's creepy crawlies, there's dinosaurs, and there's snakes, and there's tigers, and, whatever passes for tigers on Zeta Reticuli. And you're walking through this forest. and you hear something because where's your ears? I guess your ears are like on your shoulders or something like that. It's got no fucking head. So you got ears on your shoulders and eyes where your titties would be. Okay. So you're walking through the forest and you hear something snarling and slurping, and you think, "Oh, fuck, what is that?" Okay, if you got a head, you can whip that puppy around so quick, just in a teeny fraction of a second. You can look, you can see, is it a tiger? Is it a lion? Is it a chupacabra? The quicker you can look, the better chance you've got of staying alive if that thing's intent on eating you. But if you ain't got no head, you got to turn your whole body to see that thing. That's going to take a lot longer than just jerking your head. And by that time, the chupacabra's on you. I was going to say, he's already ripped your head off, but you don't have a goddamn head. So I don't know what he's done. He's plucked out your eyes, out of your titties or something like that. You're done anyway. It just doesn't seem like an efficient design to me. I mean, hell, what do I know? Maybe it is. I don't know, but it just seems weird that something could evolve without a head. It could, I suppose, but I don't know any. Well, yeah, I'm sure there are some things. I don't know of too many things in nature, in our nature, that doesn't have a head, and I know damn well that none of them are at the top of the food chain, except for politicians, shit like that. Okay. At that moment, the sphere vanished, and the being began walking towards the village, but he also seemed to fade away. Moments later, 3 more similar spheres landed, and similar beings emerged, and they also became invisible. Oh, hell. What are you going to do with that thing? I'd like to dismiss it. I can't totally. I can give it like 1 grain of sand, but the bestest I can do 1 grain of sand for that thing, because it just seems silly to me. Headless things. I talk to the anthropologists and ask them, is there anything in nature that number 1 doesn't have a head, and number 2 has thrived to some degree within its native environment? Maybe there are some things. I don't know what they would be. Worms, I guess worms. Worms don't really have a head, I don't think. So I don't know. Hell, I don't know. Maybe you don't have to have a head. What do I know? Okay. There you go. I'm done. And there's more Russia shit. I'm not going to do it. Okay. We be done. Now, in the last tape, I passed on an important tip, and it's such a vital tip that I'm going to pass it on again, in case anybody missed the last one, because it's a communication for all mankind. It's really important. You might want to jot it down, just take notes, because there's nothing written here on the screen. You got to jot this down. Okay, so they got this stuff. You can buy it pretty much any country in the world. I can't remember any country I've ever been to where you couldn't get this stuff. It's called Pine Sol, Pine-SOL. It's a really good soap. Smells heavenly. I wish I could drink it. I do. I wish I could drink it. I'd like to drink it. I mean, I haven't tried it, but I don't think you should probably either. The thing about Pine Sol, it's really, really potent. It's, God, it will clean anything. I mean, you just, maybe you got a dirty engine in your car, something like that. You go out there and you open the hood and you take that bottle. You don't even open the cap. You just shake it. You just shake it in front of the engine and then hose it off. The engine is spick and span, looks like brand new. Okay, so there's a problem with Pine Sol, and that is that it is, depending on the brand of this stuff, Pine Sol can be precisely the same exact color. This is important. Listen. Can be the exact same color as, you ready? Get your pen? Cooking oil. Let's let that sink in. You'll get it in a minute. All right. Thank you very much. Good evening and good night. Where's my stupid off switch? Jeez.